going over this week's assignment. So we're going to read about construction types. There's a reading PDF describing the 5 construction types, and you're going to identify your construction, your building construction type. You're going to then cite the building where it is in Boston, and we have a full-scale map of Boston here, and I will show you an example of how we're going to use it to set the 3 scales of maps that we talked about, because no one's got it quite right during schematic design. We need to revisit that. So I'm starting the AutoCAD. I'm going to start AutoCAD. Opened this drawing recently. My office studio is in the North End at North Square in Boston. So I want to first want to create a map locating it in the neighborhood. The neighborhood of the North End is roughly along the waterfront here. You can see City Hall here, Government Center Plaza. So there's a few ways we could do this, but what I'm going to do is draw a viewport of different size scales. So we're going to create a new layer. We call it viewport. I do this, we're going to assign it this purplish color, which is different than most of the other colors. We're going to make that layer current, and I'm going to draw a box, just a perfect square that's a square mile. What's a square mile? Type D for distance. We're going to do 5 to 80 feet in one direction. Oops, we have to set our units to architecture. Let's do that again. D 5280 feet by 5280 feet. So that's the square mile. Now I'm going to take this and move it around my neighborhood there, right? So a square mile, really, neighborhoods could be more than that, but the simple view is that a square mile will neatly locate your site within a neighborhood easily. You might make the viewport a little smaller. I then want to, by the way, I meant to say that you should locate your building, and that is building, the polyline that describes it, I could set the global width to like 6, and just emphasizing it to make it, you know, sort of thicker. So you want that finally this is where we want, that's our site. So if I create a view in that rectangle, type the letter V, right? I'm just going to create a new view and call it neighborhood. Edit boundaries. I'm going to set the view to the boundaries of that rectangle. There's the endpoint, one endpoint, and there's the other. Okay. Enter to accept. Okay. So now when I type the letter V and I say make that my current view and hit apply, AutoCAD zooms to that view. I can also use that shape to create a layout at a particular scale, or I could create a square in my if I wanted to copy the shape itself, I would do shift copy with a base point and just specify the bottom left corner. Go to a layout page. Let's just remove the layout that's there. Copy that rectangle, which is now a square mile, but we want to scale this. So scale it by, say, 1 over. If you wanted a 32nd 16th scale, it would be twice 96, right? 1 96 times 2. So 1 over 192. Use this as a base point and type in 1 over 192, enter. So that's way big. Um, 1/32 would be twice that. So if we cut that in half, scale that by 2. Type in 0.5. Okay, and if I make this a viewport now, type MV, make view, and type the letter O for object. That creates, that makes that square my viewport. Now, when I type the letter V, and I say neighborhood set current and hit OK, I can activate this with my there's my neighborhood map. That neighborhood map is at 1 unit is 192 units, so that's 1/16 scale. If I make it half that, 1/32 scale, PS, take this scale, bottom corner, 0.5. So there's what I can represent at 32nd of an inch scale. So I type V, set current, OK. There's my neighborhood at 32nd inch scale, and 64th inch scale would be half of that, etc., etc. I'm assuming you guys are comfortable doing this in AutoCAD. If not, let's go over it in class. Thank you.